Hello, welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. So I have already uh, filmed a little bit the intro, and I was talking about my Montana dress that I'm wearing, and then I put my video on pause and somehow screwed up and lost it. So now I'm wearing clothes underneath my Montana dress, which isn't going to last very long because it is hot. The fabric is itchy. Um, will be an unfinished mock-up. I will not finish it at all. It is simultaneously too tight and too loose. It is too big. But up here, when I'm not wearing this shirt, it actually feels better wearing this shirt, to be perfectly honest. That's weird. But when I'm not wearing this shirt, it's so tight in the shoulders, but it's so big. It's a fabric choice. I know this. When I was sewing it up and I was doing the gathering stitches for the skirt and the bodice area, I would, move the fabric, and I would literally fray the fabric so bad. I will show you when I take this off. It is a good length. It is, so that part is good. Originally, I did a size Australian 18, which is a US 14, and it was absolutely too tight. This bodice took me 4 hours to make. This one went a lot quicker because I kind of knew what I was doing. Plus, I'm using a different lining, but I don't like it because you can, when I go like this, you can see, whereas this one made it seem more seamless because it was the same fabric on both sides. Now, I'm going to take it off because it is just wretchedly hot. It is a nice humid day. You can hear the electrical lines. Okay. Buzz. That's how warm it is. So I'm gonna have a little drink of water, and now my hair feels weird. Okay. My hair feels weird. Okay. So I feel like this is the oxymoron of fabrics. It is too tight, too loose, frays too much, too it felt sturdy when I was like, oh yeah, it felt sturdy. But when you look at it, it just frays so bad. So when I was making the bodice again, I knew kind of what I was doing, so it went faster. I also was using a different fabric. This is just some muslin I got at Walmart years ago. It's a very fine grade of muslin. It's very thin. I thought that would be perfect. You know, it's sturdy like this fabric, and I thought, yeah, okay. So then when I was doing the gathering stitches, I do this, and the thing would just fray apart. And I started getting really nervous, like, will there be anything left to hold on to? So this bodice is a size Australian 22 or the US 18. I kind of said how Style Arc has, it's an Australian pattern, and then they have different sizes for European, UK, and US. And I'm following the US sizes. So the length is good. That I'm really happy about. I really did a good job on the pockets. The first time I've ever done pockets. And like this, I mean, I put pockets on front of things, but not in. I really like that. I only followed the instructions for the pockets for the first step or so. They wanted you to put the pockets in on the front panel, like one, like this, you know, like you sew it so right sides are together. and like, you know, you sew them on, and then you stay stitch them so it looks like this, you know. So I thought, I'm not doing, then they wanted you to do this convoluted thing by putting the other pocket in, but then bagging it, and I was like, that's stupid. I don't have time for that. I am not that smart to figure this out, because this is challenging. So I remember seeing many people on YouTube, basically when they're putting two skirt panels together or whatever, they sew, and then they just sew around and they sew down, and the pockets are already on the panel, and so you got that nice clean edge. I'm going to show you again. See? I did understitch, so I sewed the pocket on, and then I folded it over and I understitched it so it would have this nice little flat area. They're at a good length. I liked where they are. If I were to make this skirt again, I would just raise them up just a little bit for my body. Now, will I make this pattern again? Yes, I will. I don't know what to do. I know it's too big. But I might just, here's my thing. I hate waste. I came from, my grandparents all went through the Great Depression as children, and it's just been instilled in me, waste not, want not, waste not, want not. So I want to size down, and maybe just the pattern itself using stretch fabric will be, you know, because like this is t-shirt fabric, and this stretches, you know, and there's not that, I mean, it's tight, but it's not like, you know, gaping off of me, but I can still do this without feeling, you know, roar. Anyway, I don't know. This fabric is going to be made into placemats. I have enough. I will either seam rip it or just cut it and make it into placemats, because when I put it on, it's heavy, like really heavy. It's like, it feels like a burlap bag heavy. It's itchy. So like as I was sitting here before I started again, I was just getting itchier and itchier and itchier, and it was driving me crazy. So, oh well, lesson learned. I will try it again with a knit fabric. Maybe I'll just try the size Australian 20, which would be a US 16. Because it's just too, like, the thing I liked about the first one, which is a Australian size 18 or US 14, it actually looked really good. I was like, oh, it looks really nice. But then when I went like this, I was like, oh, I'm gonna really rip it. So, I don't know. That is the thing. It does fray amazingly, horribly bad. So when I make it into placemats, I will make sure that oh, she's gonna knock over a lamp. Nellie, please don't. I'll make sure all the seams are enclosed. And I do need some new placemats. And maybe I could just do some decorative stitches or and get it all done. Anyway, so what else is there? I have one more finished object. I'm so happy. It got done last night. And I am going to put it on even though it's quite hot. It is a cotton poly blend. I think it's 85% cotton and 15% poly. Okay. It is my Leisure Arts cardigan. Now, it's supposed to have this wide neck. I'm just really hot and it's kind of sticking to me. So I got these buttons a long time ago. I remember I had a gift card and I went down to Walmart, and I had a gift card to Walmart, and I went down the craft aisle as one does, and they were on sale. They were just something organics. I don't remember. But I thought, oh, and they were like $1 or two, like $1.99 or something like that for a big pack of buttons. And this style came with 3 different types. So this had enough buttons for this sweater. I needed 6 all together. I'm not buttoning it all the way. There is the lace panel detail, and there it is again. It has this natural stripiness. I'll show the back. Now I'm going to take it off because I'm really wretchedly hot. Okay, so a long time ago I've said that it got really wonky and my tension was off, or the lace panel really kind of made one side become like a ski slope. It looked kind of like this. The day of drawing, it kind of looked like this on one side. I was a little nervous. And then a nice viewer told me it probably would block out, and she was right. And I was like, thank you so much. So then I blocked each piece, and I had to do it in sections. If you can see over here, I'm blocking out another sweater that I will talk about shortly. And I kind of did the same thing. I'd only put 1 or 2 or 3 pieces on because this is quite large. This back is quite large. So I sewed it all up. I sewed the shoulder seams. I used my Vogue knitting book for reference again to have the seamless join. Do I have that out? I do. I love referencing this book. I got mine, I believe, off of thrift books. Oh yeah, thrift books. It's great. I love it. It gives me so much information. So then I then sewed up the armholes, and then I sewed up the sweater bottom and the sleeve using, is it the mattress stitch? The invisible seam. So you can't even tell. Only you can tell because of the stripes are a little different, but I'm not going to worry about that. This yarn does bleed, so I will, when I wash it in the washing machine, I will put a color catcher in there, and then, you know, it'll be fine. So after I got all that sewed up, I then did the button band. There's where you put the buttons. This is the right side. When I was looking at the pattern in the book, I thought this was like a lace detail, but it just gets that wonkiness from the button area. This one here, I have to be careful because it's really loose, and I might just go in and, you know, tack it a little bit with some thread, because it's not very stable right here. So, and then so the button band took me hours. First you do the left side. Okay, first you do this side. It's a simple knit 2, purl 2 pattern. I'm not going to give it all away, but it's very common. So you had to pick up so many stitches, and with the right side facing. So the first time I picked up in this area here, which then made it too loose and gapy and icky, and I didn't like it. And then, you know, like, you pick up and then you don't have enough, or you pick up and you have too many and you're trying to space them out. It just was kind of fiddly. But I did it, and I got it done, and then I kind of knew for the second side how to do. So this side was a little easier because I kind of just, after doing so many, I kind of knew. And then you do 2 rows of the knit 2, purl 2, and then the next 2 rows, because each button band is 6 rows and then a bind off, you do the buttonholes. And that was, I just followed the instructions, where you go to that point, and then you turn your work, and then you cast on 2 stitches, and then turn back, and then continue on. First it was a little hard. You know, I think I started down here, and you can tell like some areas I got real wonky, but by the time I got up here, I kind of knew what I was doing. And I did not want to tear it apart again and redo. So then, after that was done, I set it off to the side because it was kind of late at night and I was tired. So yesterday I started, how did I start? I started here, and you do a line of single crochet all the way around in one loop. So I started here, went all the way around the bottom, came up around the neckline, and got back down to here. And then you do 1 round of reverse single crochet. So I started down here and went all the way around, and you know, at first it's real fiddly. She saw something. It's real fiddly doing reverse single crochet, but once you get it, you get it. It's just, you know, watch a tutorial, read the instructions, try until you figure it out, and it makes this really nice edging. I also decreased here and there around the bottom whenever I felt it was too loosey-goosey and too wonky, and I didn't want it to be like this, you know, I didn't want it to be too loose. I wanted it to be flowy but not sloppy. So periodically, as I was making it, I could just see that it just needed some more structure, so I would do a single crochet, 2 single crochets together. Is that how you say it? Single crochet 2 together, where you are, okay, so if you know how to crochet, you are crocheting and you pull up a loop, but you don't do it. You go to the next stitch, pull up another loop, and then go through all 3 loops, and you decrease 1 stitch, which creates stability. So I did that periodically. I don't even know where or when. I made sure to make this area on all the panels sturdier, which it did. And then the reverse single crochet really helped that as well. It just provides this really good firm structure around the neckline and the hem. And then I sewed the buttons on with thread. I just used white thread. It kind of matches the sweater itself. I didn't want purple because I kind of wanted it to blend more. And now I have a sweater to wear to work. And I'm so happy, but it's wretchedly hot right now. So I was excited. Let's see here. What did I say? Yep, okay. So for the main part of the sweater, I used a US size 8. I used my Knit Picks 4 Square Laminated Birch needles. I did buy them myself, but I am an affiliate member with Knit Picks, and my link is in the description below. But for the button band, I sized down to a size US size 7 or 4.5 millimeter 4 Square Laminated Birch needle. I think it's a Sunstruck brand. My cat Tallulah loves this, and not in the nice little cat way. Oh, I'll just lay on it. No, she's like, I'm like, no, do not. She watched me intently while I was making the whole thing. She watched me intently. Now, I only have 2 more things I'm going to talk about. Well, 3. but the other two are going to be short. So as you can see, I am blocking my Dolce V-neck drop shoulder cardigan. It is Barocco Dolce yarn, which is brushed alpaca with a braided core of wool, nylon, and cotton. It is a discontinued yarn. It is a beautiful yarn. I did not want to wet block it because when I did that with the gauge swatch, it seemed to become more muted and less floofy. And so I steam block this. I'm just gonna go right there. I steam blocked, I pinned it out nicely, and then I steam blocked it, and now I'm letting it dry because it was holding a lot of moisture. And I have 2 more pieces to steam block, and then I will sew it up and I will do the button band, and I'm planning to do a continuous button band since it's a V-neck, and I will start on one side and go down, and I'm going to probably do the 1x1 rib. I've thought about doing a double knit button band, and I just really want to get it done in a 1x1 rib. Will look nice, and it'll match the cuffs and the hem. So that I used a size 7. I used my Reflections, Knit Picks Reflections. It's a stainless steel with a little bit of nickel. Circular, what do you call it? Interchangeable circular needle. I loved it. It was fun. It was sturdy. The yarn was beautiful to work with. I'm really excited to get it done. And I would like to get it done before it gets really cold so I can wear it to school and be nice and warm. Now, I was so happy with all of my progress. I brought out of the deep vault of unfinished whips my Finley sweater. I'm just going to hold it. So this is the neck. This is the front. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm using Upcycle Alpaca Blend. It's a Knit Picks yarn, and it's 33% wool, no, 34% wool, 33% acrylic, and 33% alpaca. It is from my Only Yoking book, and this is what it's gonna. This is what it's gonna look like. I'm way up here. So one thing I do, this pattern has been very challenging to remember where I am. So I have put, this is the row I'm on. I'm on row 11. This is row 11, and I have blocked everything else out so I don't look at anything else. And then I keep track in 2 places, but the thing I am doing, which has really helped, is leapfrogging stitch markers. So this is one pattern repeat, and then this is another pattern repeat, but I have this stitch marker here. So when I get over here, I'll do my pattern and transfer the pink one over. Then I'll do the pattern, and then I'll transfer the blue one over. And that has saved me so much time from, did I do it right? And then going back. I always like double check during that spot. I'll be like, all right, this is what it's supposed to look like in this part of the pattern. Yes, that is correct. It's just a nice little thing. So I've only done two rows. Started it again last night. I love this yarn. It is so nice to work with. It has this nice little twist to it. I don't know if you can see. I think I'm using the colors Sapphire, I know that, and Sea Glass. This is the sport weight version. I haven't looked recently, but the last time I looked on their site, they only had the worsted weight at that time. But I have a lot of the sport weight, which I bought during one of their massive sales. I am using my Knitter's Pride, I think they're Radiance, the wood needles. They're very nice. It's working out really well. I'm using US 5 for the main body of the sweater. And yeah, what did I just say? Oh, and I used a US 4 for the cast on edge and the ribbing, which I like. I just use long tail cast on. It's loose enough. You do some short row shaping in the back to give you that length, and so it sits nice. I'm really looking forward to getting this done. So onward and upward. And then the last thing I'm going to discuss is, I know I left last time very defeated about this sweater from the Patons Sweater. I am doing size 2, which should fit 48-inch bust when it's done. That includes all the positive ease, but I'm having some gauge issues, and I was like, what do I do? I did state in a comment on my last video that I decided to give it to my daughter, which I'm still planning to do. As soon as I decided, I'm just gonna make it as is. I'll give it to her, she can wear it. Maybe down the line, and I don't have such an apple belly, I could wear it. Who cares, right? It is the pattern I wanted to make. If I ever do want to make this pattern again, which it is quite enjoyable. I do a 4, how do I do this? So the pattern itself has 2 different cables, and then they also have one cable is a 4-row repeat. The other cable is a 12-row repeat. Okay? And then they have you make the majority of the sweater using these 4 rows. So I rewrote it because it's in these like columns and it's really hard to follow along. I rewrote it, and so I like to do 4 rows and then go on and do something else. It does take some time still. I mean, I'm getting faster as I go. I keep track, like I know on chart A, I have to start on 1, but on chart B, I'm starting on row 9. And then I have the, what do you call them? Post-its showing where I am. So it's coming along. It's moving and grooving. And so I sit down and I do my 4 rows, and then I go, all right. So it looks like I've done like 2 pattern repeats since last time. These bobbles are really beautiful and I like doing them. I have all my stitch markers and pattern helpers around me at all times, just so I can follow along and know where I am. There. Now, we'll see how far I get to the next week. Now, a lovely viewer from Alberta said, do a split hem. And I was thinking about this on my walk this morning with my dog, and I'm like, oh yeah, a split hem, that would solve a lot of problems. So I'm going to do a split hem. Thank you, my Alberta crafting friend. Thank you for that suggestion. Sometimes when you get in the mire of things, you forget like simple things. So it is turning out really nice. It is. I really like this pattern. If I were to make this again, I don't know if I would be using Lion Brand's Wool Ease, which this is what it is. I don't mind this yarn, but I also have Lion Brand's Fisherman Wool, and I don't know if it would match gauge per se, but I have a lot in this cream color. And then I also have Patons classic wool, but that is gray. Ooh, a gray sweater. So there's options. I am using my Knitter's Pride Zings. This is size 7. And so far, so good. I'm just gonna go on. I already tore up or frogged the ribbing from the last one. I'm just gonna make it as is and keep on going. So next week I have my first week back to school. We have lots of things going on. On Monday is our big all school gathering at the high school, and we have speakers, and I'm gonna bring dishcloths because I get so bored just sitting there like I should have brought something to do. I've thought that many a times in the past, and the last, was it 2? I think the last 2 times I brought something to do, and last time I only brought 1 dishcloth. Enough stuff for 1 dishcloth. I thought, oh, that'd be more than enough time. No, I finished my dishcloths, and then I was like, I'm really bored, and they're just droning on. But anyway, you know, you should be listening, but sometimes you get bored. And then my daughter has some stuff next week. So next week's podcast might be a lot shorter, depending on everything I get done and whatnot. And then we're gonna kick September off like gangbusters, and it's gonna be like bing, 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 and then it'll be October. Always happens every single year. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for your comments and your suggestions. I really do take them to heart, and I think about things on my walk and how I can improve my sewing or crafting or knitting or crochet. And I really do like crocheting. When I was crocheting my edging here, my daughter says, "Aren't we gonna have supper?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I got consumed with my sweater." So happy it's done. It did turn out pretty well, and it kind of matches the pattern, which I did not show, so I'll show real quick if I can find it. I got it from Leisure Arts Necessary Knits, and I will just show you one picture of it. The pattern itself, here's hers. It's called the Shaped Cardigan. I did not do any shaping. It does not give you any kind of yarn suggestion. It gives you limited instructions. All the instructions work fine. You do need to know how to knit though. You need to know how to sew things up, and you need to know how to like do simple crochet stuff. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a discontinued book, just so you know. Like most things in this world, all the good stuff is, I don't want to say disappearing, because it could come back. But sometimes the old stuff gets put off to the side for the new fancy thing. But it's all based on one another, so there. Now, I know how to put in pockets. I sewed up another sweater. I will sew up one more sweater. I hope to show that next week. I don't care what it's in, but I would love it to be on me and being done. So with that, I should probably go and finish another project I was working on in the kitchen. So I hope everyone is doing well. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.